Chi-Town Zone, VA Zone.
That's right. Two cities, man.
Ice 90. What up, Ice?
Ice, what's going on, man? Ice
now,
90,
now,
man.
now. Of course, being in Northerner, we have a tendency of truncating and and making our own nicknames. I mean, so
For sure.
of course, I'm gonna call you Ice. I mean, I know it's Ice 90, but that's just how we do it.
For sure.
So Ice. So speaking of which, your name Ice 90. Tell us a little bit about how that came about.
All right, so Ice is the last 3 letters of my first name, and 90 is the year I'm born. I just put it all together, man. Put it back together. When I recently went back home to Chicago to bury my 2 aunts and 2 cousins who was tragically killed in a car crash on the west side of Chicago earlier in the year. Fly high, Stacy, Tracy, Jamarion, and Jeremy, man. I love y'all forever.
Indeed. Sorry to hear that, kid.
But when I was down, when I was home, man, I got a chance to experience life from another level, man, and just seeing the love in the city and how we came together once again as a people, as a family. I just was blessed, and I was writing music while I was out there, man. And when I came back home to Virginia, my sound was different, and I felt like I was in a humble place. You know what I'm saying? So
Indeed.
I kept it all the way me, man. Ice 90.
Indeed. All right. So speaking of keeping it all the way you, what would you say differentiates you from everybody else that's out there right now? What makes Ice 90 somebody that people should listen to rather than whatever else is pumping out there right now?
I think for myself, I don't glorify a lot of the things that we get a lot of fake glory on. Like jail and guns. That's anytime you value jail over education, man, I feel like we lost as a people. So I feel like I'm one of them people who still tell the children, dare to be different, because that's what we grew up on.
Indeed.
Say no to drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like, and of course, as a person, you make all type of decisions. So,
indeed.
Me, I just don't glorify. You know what I'm saying? Anything negative, man. I put all my energy into being positive. So. I think that reflected in the music.
All right, let's talk about the state of hip hop right now, right? Because I'm considered an old head. I mean, growing up on 90s hip hop, so which I consider real hip hop. Back in the day, kind of thing, whatever. But of course, hip hop has changed, right? I don't really like to say evolve. I like to say hip hop has changed, right? So some of the core competencies that were required back then, not so much right now, right? I think we had to talk about it. Matter of fact, Chima, about do you think it's easier to get put on hip hop now, or do you think it was easier to get put on hip hop back in the day? What do you think?
I think it's a process. I don't think nothing happens overnight. Sometimes it take years to make moves, man.
Indeed.
It take hard work and dedication to get where you at. The sensation of being instant, I think that's a rare case. But like for us, we got certain apps that could take you there. Like
exactly,
TikTok,
that's what I'm saying. Right, exactly. Right. So you get that one.
I think that
app.
part is easy as far as gaining exposure. Because I remember when they was out the back of the trunk with it. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
You could buy some pants and a CD.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But we all agree that hip hop has changed.
It has. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like you say, with social media nowadays, with the internet nowadays. I mean, all it takes is that one joint to go viral.
That's it.
And next thing you know, I mean, you got people like
Lil Nas X,
like Lil Nas X and them. What's your man?
That boy.
Hot boy joint. What was that? Your man. You know who I'm talking about.
Nah,
Hot boy.
that's your man.
I'm gonna get it. But so you have stuff like that where somebody can literally get it pumping seemingly overnight just based off of one joint going viral on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, whatever the case may be. Whereas back in the day, we didn't have those kind of vehicles, right? So my thought is, I think it's easier to get put on nowadays, but it's harder to stay on. Whereas back then, it was hard to get on, but when you was on, like you was on.
You was on, yeah.
I mean, because nowadays, you could be hot one day, next day, people like, Ice who?
Out of here, yeah.
Ice
That's why you got to stay working, man. You got to keep one foot in.
Right.
Indeed. All right, so tell us a little bit about your project. What you been working on? What you got going on?
I just recently been working on my project. It's called Standards.
Okay.
It's a movement, man. It's
a movement.
Yes, sir.
Uh-oh.
It's a movement. Talk more about that,
man. And I think it's a movement because just how everything aligned itself, even in the stars, for the project to take place. The outstanding people I have working with me.
Right.
just that, man. I get a lot of love in different places, and
What?
can I shout out a few people?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Handle your business.
Shout out CMG Promotions, man. Y'all go check them out, man. CMGpromotions.info. Blick Bros, Bloodline Music, LLC. Shout out my girl Floss. Hey, look, my girl Floss, man. She had an interview today at 4:30, man. Shout out her.
Okay.
Kenyatta.
Okay.
Ryan TV. Capri. Lawrence. Yeah. We here.
The whole family.
As you can see, as you can see, it is a movement. I mean,
it's a movement.
It does take a whole team.
It takes.
To get something pumping. It's never a one person show.
Right.
I mean,
So how's your recording process?
I think my recording process is different because just that I'm trying to bring the 90s back to the forefront. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
like,
so what does that mean? What does it mean to bring the 90s back to the forefront?
Just the original elements that it took for hip hop to be here, which is like graffiti, dance, break dance, rap for sure, and then DJ. You know what I'm saying? Just having
you can't forget about knowledge.
Man, you can't forget that stuff, man.
All right, well, let me ask you this though. So, of course, yeah. So you're a part of this generation, right? Okay. So, Team and I, we're part of the previous generation,
right?
So, but you trying to bring the '90s back, bring those elements back. How do you think this generation is going to receive that? Do you think that they'll think that you're just trying to, revive something that's dead, and you're not with the wave, so to speak, or whatever? Or how you think that? What kind of reception do you think that you're going to get for trying to bring the '90s back?
Well, for me personally, just from the reviews I got so far, I think they're going to rock with it, man, because at the end of the day, as long as I stay true to myself and my craft and just that, believe in those that believe in me and keep going forward, man, keep good relationships and stuff with,
Indeed.
with good people, man, I'll be all right, man, because at the end of the day, one person don't make or break you. You know what I'm saying?
So in a perfect world.
Regarding
your project, what does success look like to you?
Good question.
That's a great question, Chima. Boy, that's a woo. All right, so success look like to me,
like your projects, just specifically, like what is successful to you as far as your music right now that you have created? Like
successful to me is just putting myself in a position to be heard. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I feel like it's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for, y'all? It's
nonsense, garbage, trash.
That's an opinion. Yeah. But I feel like successful for me is just being heard. You know what I'm saying? Get my music out there and let people pay an ear to it. If you don't like it, pay me no mind. If you
it costs you nothing.
Don't like it, look. Right. If you don't like it, I got other tracks that you might like. So stay tuned, man, because we working, man.
All right. So where do you get your inspiration from for your music? Like, so when you sit down and write a song or record a song, what inspired you for that particular track?
I think a lot of times it be like conversation I'm having or situations I be in. With people. A lot of my inspiration come through like my relationship with my friends and family. And
right.
One thing about me, I never say things that I can't repeat, or I don't talk about things that I ain't never been through. So if it's something that I ain't never been through, I won't get up here and fake it till I make it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I talk from a place of knowing, and yeah, that's just
so just being authentic. Just talking about your experiences and all that kind of
stuff.
That's
pretty dope that you can create a song from a conversation. That's dope.
I see a lot of art that inspire me to write different things. You know what I'm saying? It's just staying in the creative mindset. You know.
Okay, so speaking of being inspired and such, what current artists would you say are most influential to you right now?
Most influential
like
to
who
me
you
right
rocking?
now?
Right.
Yeah, who you listen to?
Man, my playlist so deep, man. I'm a real student of the game. Like, I really love music, especially good music. So, you might catch me listen to a lot of J. Cole.
Okay.
A lot of the Dreamville going on right now. I'm rocking with them guys.
So how you feel?
But I can even go back to like, I got Chicago artists that I rock with, like YK Super. It's a couple guys coming up right now. Teyato, Casey Mula. Man, it's some artists out there that's going, man.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So look, let's talk
Wacko,
about
look, dude named his name Wacko, man. 10 Chamberlain. He up next.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about J. Cole right quick though, right?
Okay.
You know, I'm not too familiar with the other artists that you name. You know, not being from Chicago and that culture and such. But
Okay.
I am familiar with J. Cole. How you feel about J. Cole? Now his last album, I think his last album was pretty dope, right?
Yes.
What do you think about him as an artist overall?
I think J. Cole dope, man. I think just that as far as being consecutive, man. I know a lot of people wrote J. Cole off. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about low cut J. Cole. You know what I'm saying? When he was just coming in the game, he was trying to work it out and figure out where he was. And just that, I think he got a formula over there that he's sticking to, man. And it's showing in the music. Like, a lot of his songs, I don't think a lot of his projects get a like heavy promotion like other artists. You know what I'm saying?
But he still
do his numbers though.
So y'all know my opinion about J. Cole. I think J.
Nah,
Cole.
I like Kendrick too.
I think J.
I'm
Cole.
torn between Kendrick and J. Cole, man. I like them both.
And even
man.
okay, let me talk about J. Cole first, right? So I think J. Cole, he's one of the most talented rappers out there right now. I mean, I think that the kid, lyrically, my man, he's gifted, right? I think he's on a whole nother level, lyrically and such.
Watch this.
However, like sonically though, I mean, now again, this is aside from his last one. I think his last one was pretty well balanced. But other albums, in my opinion, those joints be boring in the mug. Those joints be boring. And I think like particularly when he produces and writes and raps and everything, I think like his production all sounds the same to me. Like it sounds like one really long song.
He needs to have other people produce.
Right.
That's his formula, man. Hey, look, J. Cole.
I mean, that's why I be boring in the mug though, man. Like, I mean, it's like the kind of stuff you put on like when you clean your house. Like, it's like some background music that you're not really paying attention to, but But the kid is nice though. The kid is nice. I mean,
to keep up in this generation in this day and time, I really feel like J. Cole is the middle child. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, he the oldest in one generation and the baby in another. So,
indeed.
You guys to bring it together. You know what I'm saying? And if it's real, it's gonna resonate. If it's not,
it's gonna be out of there.
We moving forward. Look,
if you can get a feature with any artist right now that's currently out right now that everybody know, right? Who would it be?
T-Pain.
T-Pain.
Yeah.
Wow.
T-Pain, man. Hey, look, to be honest with y'all, man, I'm a big writer. So I look up to other writers like that. Like I like a lot of Ryan Leslie, Neo, Robin Thicke, artists like that.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Sean Garrett.
I was not expecting
that threw me for a loop.
He said it quick.
I like T-Pain, man. T-Pain been rocking for a long time, and he got the business down.
Yo, speaking of T-Pain though, right? So the wife and I, we saw a joint on, I want to say it was on Netflix the other day. It's called This Is Pop. Right, This Is Pop, and from the name of it, I'm like, man, this one's gonna be trash, right? But it's like a 10-episode series kind of joint where
Netflix,
they look at it's on Netflix. They look at different groups and artists, whatever, and they analyze their career and stuff like that. So the first episode is about Boyz II Men and their historic rise, back in the '90s, and then how how these white bands like NSYNC and them came and really stole their whole steed,
right?
And blew up off of that joint, whatever, exactly, right?
It's been going on.
But then the second episode is about T-Pain. Right, and in that joint, T-Pain he told a story about how he was on a plane, he flying first class, going wherever they going, and Usher was on a plane with him also, and Usher was like, "Yo, get T-Pain right quick, let me talk to the kid." So he go back, they chopping it up, he got small talk going on, whatever.
Right.
And then Usher looked my man in the face and said, "Hey man, you know that you effed up hip hop, right?"
Wow,
No, I'm sorry. He said, you effed up music, not just hip hop. He said, you effed up music, right?
Oh, I remember.
Like, told that man that to his face, right? And he said that he went into like a 4-year depression based off of that one statement. 4-year depression, right? So
it's power in your words, man.
Absolutely. So with you being a big T-Pain fan, how you feel about that? Do you think that auto-tune and what he did, do you think that did mess music up?
I can't say that, man, because at the end of the day, like I said, music is forever changing. And one thing about us as people, man, we have it in our hearts. So what sound good today, it's just like the fashion in New York. It won't be popping tomorrow. If you know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
It's like you gotta go with the flow and the element. It's a lot of like nostalgic stuff going around right now that's going viral, man. People like that vibe and the wave. You know what I'm saying? I think every trend is gonna have its turn to shine. And one thing about I really watched that transition in T-Pain where he went away and cut his hair and come back.
Right.
And he
grew the dreads back.
Man, he back to the he back to the dancing, man, and getting with it, man. So shout out to that man. Keep going, T-Pain.
So back on your project, what's your favorite song on your project? And talk about like what that song means to you and everything like that.
I think my favorite song on the project would probably be Standards, man. The last song up there, man, because I put my all into that, man. I put a lot of myself into that. It's just not just as far as like the making of the song, but when it comes to like the lyrics and the things that I was saying in the song as well. You know, I try to drop a little jewel, but not to the point where it turned you off. You know what I'm saying? I want it to be easy to digest. You know.
Okay.
Indeed.
Might give you a Bible.
I like Standards from what I heard.
Now, so I've only heard a couple joints off of there. I mean, you let me hear. What's the one you just let me hear a few minutes ago?
Reunion.
Reunion.
Yeah, man.
That's my favorite joint.
Yeah, that right there is a monster. Ain't gonna lie to you.
I could give you that.
Ain't gonna lie to you. Now, Chima will have you believe that I don't like nothing.
That's
what Chima will have you believe.
He doesn't.
That's not 100% accurate. It's not 100% accurate.
He don't like nothing.
What you like there, big brother?
So I mean, like I said in a previous episode of the Dawg House, so this is what I think, right? I think that, like you said, music is always changing, right? And I think that, it's like a relationship, right? So, let's say you meet your high school sweetheart, you're 15, 16 years old,
right?
And y'all get married at 18, 19,
think it
whatever.
Can't be no greater, right?
Right. But as you grow though, so, you meet it at 15, 16, you're a teenager, you get married, early 20s, whatever. But by the time you're 30, 40, 50, you've changed, right? So you've grown as a person, she's grown as a person, and you have a tendency of sometimes growing apart, right? Which is what happens, right? And I think that from my standpoint, I think that's how I am with hip hop. You know what I mean? I think that what I needed from hip hop back when I was 14, 15 is different than what I need from hip hop now and I'm about to be 40. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so hip hop has always been marketed towards that generation. You know what I mean? So it's marketed towards my kids now. You know what I mean? So, as a 40-year-old man, I mean, there's no way I can, rock and relate to the same thing that my 18-year-old relates to. I mean, because it's a whole different generation. You know what I mean? So for me, I still rock to the artists that were out back when I was out, but just listen to their new stuff now. I mean, because
you 40?
So I'm gonna be 39 in a couple months. I'll be 40 next year.
Hey, that's a blessing in that, man.
It is. I mean, so
Dang, I'm too close to 40.
I write to the those 90s artists that because they've evolved how I've evolved.
Right.
They've changed how I've changed.
Exactly.
Yeah, they've grown how I've grown. You know what I mean, so so that's why I'm particular about that generation of music. That's why I can't really relate to this new jack stuff because it's not for me. It's literally not for me. They don't make music for people in my.
But what's crazy
demographic.
is people our age are currently doing, like, I found out Future is 40.
Hey, listen.
Matter of fact, let me check the Carfax on that. But yeah, Future, J. Cole is 35.
Hey, listen, it's a formula, man. It's like you gotta appease to that younger demographic always because they the future. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
One day our children are gonna be in their 30s and in their 40s, and the music that it's gonna change a few more times. That's
Future
just how
37. Future
That's how
37.
I go.